Over the line, Monday, November 14th. We are live and ready to go. And I'm just letting you see this, Tracy, too. Do you see that? Do you see
Yeah.
that? Look
Uh-huh.
what I'm wearing, Tracy. Look
How
what I'm
about them
wearing.
Cowboys?
How about those Cowboys?
Yes,
Huh?
sir. Oh,
How
yeah.
about those Cowboys, Tracy? There you go. Hey, you said
Man,
it might be a trap game. You said it.
I didn't say it might. I said it was going to be. And I
Well,
was
here you
correct.
got you have Jerry Jones crying a little bit about the officials. You have you know I seen a lot of similarities in the Cowboys defense and the Packers defense. You can't stop the run,
No.
and that was a big thing. Packers can't stop a pass play. I mean, what did CD go off for? What, 800
Uh,
yards?
hey, you know what? That's all well and good, but it does not matter because he had 150 yards and two touchdowns.
150. Wow.
Yeah, but
All right.
hey, man, you know what? That's all great. You know, if the game had ended, if we were playing hockey and it
Right.
ended at the third period, we'd win.
You
But
win. Yeah, you win.
you play to win the game.
Got to win the game, no matter what. You got to come through and win the game. When they needed to stop, of course, it did happen.
No.
Uh, I don't know how much of the game you watched because I know you were on the road doing some things.
So I
But I
was
got to
able to
say,
watch most of it.
you were.
Yeah.
What about the coming out party for Christian Watson
He
after being
needed that.
bagged on by people? One thing he showed is his speed on just about every one that he caught.
Man, that last touchdown he caught, he just outran everybody.
He outran everybody to that corner.
Yep.
It was crazy. You know, and Rodgers got a little bit more time from the offensive line to throw, and that's the reason why he was having a rough time throwing is because he never got the time, but he got the time yesterday. I was what really hurt, I think, the Cowboys as defensively is Van Der Esch going out because then you had to move Micah around, and he played middle most of the time after that, so that kind of hurt, I think.
And honestly, Micah was relatively ineffective in that game.
Well, I think it's because
And
where he was playing and what
and
needed to be done
also
on his part.
we supposedly got some help to stop the run. We didn't. When you were
There
talking
was
about, I mean, the lack of pass attempts that Aaron Rodgers had. Oh, by the way,
right.
you like my shirt?
What does it say? Oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. I got the Cowboys stuff on. You got the Packers stuff on.
Yep.
We didn't even talk about that. How do you like that?
See, that's why we have a great relationship.
I got to tell everybody if it's kind of funky today, it's because I'm on the road and I'm in Milwaukee,
Usually I'm on the road.
and usually Tracy's on the road, but today I'm on the road and heading back to Sturgeon Bay now. And but hey, I thought if we could do it off the phone, let's try. But the only bad thing is I don't have any of my controls, to put music on or put the pictures on, because I had a lot of pictures of Aaron Rodgers today because I think he silenced a little bit of some of the people. I think.
Yeah,
Um,
he definitely did. The bigger thing was that here's what I was thinking about the whole week. Too much talk of McCarthy coming back
yes.
and the reuniting of McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers and them showing them hugging at the beginning of the game and all that. Aaron, we know, can be full of shit.
Exactly.
And so that was all posturing is all that was.
That's all it was.
And then
But I gotta go
showing
ahead.
McCarthy walk in with his big coat and looking around.
Who was that
I,
guy with him?
I don't know, but listen, here's how that game is summed up. McCarthy was trying to swing his pecker around. That's exact. Look at all the play calls. That's McCarthy trying to
I
pull
don't,
his old pecker out.
but I don't blame him going on that fourth down and against the Packers defense. I
I
don't blame
do.
him because the
I
Packers.
do.
Because I'll tell you what, the Packers defense, they stopped them yesterday. Yes, to get in overtime and then in overtime. But I'm telling you, everybody's been able to run on the Packers.
But why couldn't we?
So
So did you look at the stat line? We had 14 unanswered points in the third quarter, and the Packers had 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. So obviously you stopped us enough.
I
And
think I think early on we stopped you, and Aaron missed well, Watson dropped 2 balls that could have got a score right away on the first drive. But I think I think in that first quarter, both teams missed some opportunities that could have changed that whole game and never make it to the overtime period.
hey, guess what? You don't throw 2 picks in the second quarter
No,
and
no.
give up 14 points. Once
I'll tell you
again,
what, you Dallas fans,
you can, and I'm very concerned with Mike McCarthy blaming the refs. Any coach that's worth his salt knows you can only control certain things. One of which is the refs. You can't control that.
no.
But you could also maybe not throw 2 picks, leading to 14 points in the second quarter.
That was the 2 picks by Dak. That's uncalled for. There's no doubt about that.
You can blame the route or you can blame the pass. Either way, you shouldn't be in that position.
A lot of people on Twitter, Tracy, were calling for Dak's head now. All of a
Listen.
sudden, it changes from Rodgers. Now everybody's going to go after Dak.
Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers needs to send Dak a thank you note saying, hey, thanks for taking the monkey off my back because now you have it.
Boy, Rudy Ford, did you ever hear about that guy until yesterday?
Man, he's going to get a contract.
Somebody's going to pay him.
I mean, he was just at the right place at the right time, you know.
Making tackles, 2 interceptions. I mean, he was playing.
The thing that kills me is that our defense is supposed to be this lights out defense. They were lights out, okay. Yeah, turn the lights out, the game's over. Because, I mean, you can't go into a game like that after a bye week and play that poorly on defense, allowing 31 points. When all the other games you're hanging your hat on, keeping the scores down and shutting people down and all this. We knew you couldn't stop the run, but we also couldn't stop the pass either. And I'm not blaming any of the officiating because you got a rookie in the game, Tolbert, when he lines up offsides. Apparently, he did get clearance from the ref that he was lined up correctly. So there's this conspiracy theory that they allowed him to line up offsides in order to call the penalty. Hey, you know what? You don't allow 2 picks and 2 touchdowns on those picks in the second quarter. You don't need that play. You don't need any of that.
No.
And the other thing
There's
was,
some plays.
I thought that when Dak came back after the 2 picks and scored a touchdown to tie it at the half, I'm like, okay, cool. He's right. He righted the ship. Then we come out with this huge third quarter. I'm like, okay, we got this. And then Aaron Rodgers, he always finds a way. And he did. And we also did a lot of hurt to ourselves with the penalties.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I said after the game, if the Packers could play the Bears and the Cowboys, could go undefeated with Aaron Rodgers. It seems like Aaron's got both teams' numbers completely.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me.
And you know what else is going to continue?
I'm probably going to lose you for a little bit. Can you hear me, Tracy? Because I'm probably going to stay out here a little bit in a bad area, but I should come back if you're just patient enough. And we should be okay. I got to thank my, today I hired a driver just so that I could be on the air with you and talk about this great game. So got to thank my driver, Tom, for doing such a great job here while I'm on the road and everything.
I'd also like to thank the state of Wisconsin for this new microphone.
You got a great microphone, I heard, huh?
Yeah, man. The state of Wisconsin sent it last week. It's crazy.
Can I tell what your wife had?
You're kind of breaking up at this point. You're talking a little bit about my wife and the fact that I'm too cheap to buy my own microphone.
Yeah, that's what I wanted you to tell. That she got the box and she sent you a text. What is this? Is it something that you're too cheap to buy yourself? I thought that was classic, Maria. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, I mean, she's got my back, you know. She's my rock. And you know what's funny when people say somebody's their rock? They could be one of two things. The thing that keeps you supported, but also the thing that takes you down into the water when you're thrown down there. So sometimes
we got a lot to get to.
She's always my rock.
We got a lot to get to, so I don't want to, like, all of a sudden go dead and not have some of this stuff done. Jeff Saturday, a lot of complaining about him getting that interim job. A lot of people complaining about Orlovsky and McAfee, talking about how, you know, this is ridiculous. McAfee's been calling out people all morning of what said, you know, that said something pretty bad about Jeff. And you guys got to anybody that watches sports have to understand where it's coming from. Orlovsky was a quarterback in Indianapolis. Saturday was the center. McAfee was the punter. They know each other. And, of course, they like Saturday.
And Edgerrin James also has had a lot of praise on Saturday, too.
And Edgerrin is back. I mean, he hasn't been coming back for a while. Now he's back. You got to – Saturday came in. Let's face it, the Raiders are bad, yes. But it's still the NFL, and anybody can win any Sunday. And Saturday got – I'll tell you what, the offensive line for the Indianapolis Colts was finally blocking. Jonathan Taylor got loose, and now Matt Ryan's back. You see that?
Oh, God, now we get to hear Matty Ice.
Again,
I thought we buried that. Hey, did you see Edgerrin James' tweet?
No.
So, this is his tweet. Jeff Saturday with the W. Go Colts. This is America. FYI, 5 presidents had never been elected to the public office before becoming president. Zachary Taylor, Ulysses S. Grant, Herbert Hoover, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Donald Trump. What's that got to do with anything? So it's probably good that if I lose you, that we cut the show short, because Jerry Jones has adopted the Jim Irsay philosophy, and I'm interviewing for the head coaching job for the Cowboys.
All right. Can I be offensive coordinator?
Of course. You already got the job.
There we go. That's what I want to hear.
And I'm wearing a cowboy hat. I'm bringing it back. I'm going to be on the sidelines with a cowboy hat, and I'm going to have a detachable headset that doesn't break when you throw it down, because we all know I have anger issues.
Were you surprised? I'm matter of fact, on the Jeff Saturday thing, I am all for it.
Me too.
Let him, you know, if he wins out, he should get the job. I know they got to go through the process, but he should get the job if he wins out.
Hey, now, so as of this week, he's Coach of the Year candidate. Big time.
I mean,
oh, yeah.
1-0.
Undefeated.
And,
never lost. Never lost.
I'd love to get him on our show here and just talk. He seems, you know, the way I see it, and I think it's like, you know, the people that played with him, they're saying the experience in that. You know yourself. I mean, there's clips out there of Jeff Saturday on YouTube. Go listen to him. Anybody that watches this, go listen to him. That guy was a baller. I mean, He was even yelling at Peyton Manning in some of those clips. And he played 14 years, Tracy. He knows NFL football. All right? Now, he's probably never called a play in his life other than the high school games that he was doing, but he knows NFL football. And one thing he does know is offensive line. And that offensive line at Indianapolis needed a kick in its ass to get going. And maybe he's the guy to do that.
And we all know that the smartest guys on the football field are the offensive linemen.
They are. They are the smartest. You know, that's what they say anyway. And they say the center position is probably the most intelligent player on the field because he's got to know everything as far as what the players are doing and where they're lining up and all that. So I think Jeff Saturday will be successful. Do they beat Philadelphia this next week? I don't know. But if they do, then he is coach of the year.
And from Irsay's standpoint, what do you have to lose?
Right.
You know, it's
Exactly.
I liken the interim coach situation like if I were going in as a sub for another band because I'm
Right.
coming in and saving them. So even if it's not great, I still save the day.
You're there and you're still providing the beat.
Exactly.
And
So,
that's and I think that's what he has to do. He's just got to come in. He's got to know, like you always tell me, with you, place. And I think Jeff Saturday knows his place.
oh yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I think he's going to
rest of the
entrust other people to do what they're supposed to do. He's a smart
right.
enough guy.
And you're only as good as the people you put around you. We all know that.
Yeah.
And
And we saw both sides of that Sunday. We saw Jeff Saturday and we saw Mike McCarthy.
well, Mike McCarthy, I still say the Cowboys could have won that game. There's no doubt. I don't think it was Mike McCarthy's fault on play calling. I think I think there was a lot of things that went that they could have. They ran the ball well when they ran it. And they got away from that a couple of times to throw. But there where the patience, I think, is Mike McCarthy really calling the plays, or is it Moore calling them?
You know what? I summed up the final play, 4th and 4 on the Packers 35. Big balls McCarthy wanted to go for it. And then little balls Kellen Moore comes up with that play call. I don't think Mike was pissed that it didn't work. I think he was pissed with the play call because he was going for it regardless because that's what he
I
had
think
been
so.
doing
Yeah.
the whole game. And the thing that I found that they got away from in that first half, they're running tempo. Keep doing that.
Yes.
But if you
Yes.
notice, those 2 picks put a stop to that.
Yep.
They
They
quit going tempo because they had the Packers on their heels. Think about it. If the score could have been 21-7 at the half,
And that,
we would have been up.
and you know yourself that last holding call on Dallas, that's a question. The Packers got beat twice this year on that same holding call where you grabbed the guy. I mean, there is more grabbing than that that's ever. I mean, I just can't believe some of the officials. And then, of course, like I said in our little promo this morning, Jair Alexander. I mean, he definitely hit the wide receiver for the Cowboys early. But of course, some of those things go unnoticed. I don't know how. But that holding call, I mean, I think you could call, and I think you believe this too. You could call holding just about any play in the NFL.
Holding is on every play. It's just
And
what you choose to call.
when
And
you
man,
choose to call it,
like I said, I'm not blaming the officiating. Yeah, it sucked, but guess what? Officiating sucks in every sport at every level.
right,
And
right.
that's one of those things that I'm talking about. You cannot control those elements.
And
The
that's
things
where
you can
I
control
get
is
it.
what you have to take
Yep.
care of.
I get it where you're going with the officials, and don't complain about the officials and all that.
If
But
you
I
notice,
think it's
Dak he didn't say a word about that. He talked about
right.
that they played badly and they
Do
beat
you think?
themselves.
Do you think? And I'm not picking on you on here. All right, I'm just saying. Do you think that Dallas as a whole, when they have a play go against them with the refs late in the game, do you think that the fan base and maybe Dallas in a whole think, wait a second, we're the Dallas Cowboys? And I'm not picking on you on that. I'm just saying because Dallas has gotten more calls on last plays in the fourth quarter than a lot of teams through the years.
I don't agree with
And
that. I
because
think it evens out. If you look at any team, calls are going to go their way and calls aren't. And when people complain and anytime a call would happen to go Dallas's way, all these idiots come out of the woodwork saying, Jerry Jones paid the refs. Well, I guess they didn't get their Venmo this week because
right,
none of the calls went
right,
that way. So I think that's a tired that's a tired excuse as far as the reffing. I mean, you can look at any team, and they get some calls and they don't. And I don't think the Cowboys are any different because I've watched it being unbiased, watching plays and other games, and I see each other's fan base say the same thing. You know, like the New Orleans Saints, they'd always say it. Lord knows they've carried that a long time, blaming refs and calls and all that stuff.
Well, they did have a couple of calls in recent years that went against them that was kind of strange.
Yeah, definitely. But also, in those games, they did not execute offensively. And to me, that renders those plays irrelevant.
Well, the Cowboys start this week, and they got to have a win on Sunday, all right?
Ooh,
I'm going to get to the
way
rest
to,
of the...
way to put yourselves in a must-win situation against a hot team.
I want to get to the rest of the NFL, but I want to talk about the Cowboys are traveling. They come to Green Bay. Now the NFL has them traveling to Minnesota for next Sunday.
And you think the Cowboys get a favorable schedule from Jerry Jones and your cute little voice that you had last week? That's what I'm saying. It's like
I had a good one this week. Did you hear?
Oh no, I did not. Where'd you put it? Was it on Facebook?
It's on Facebook. Yeah, it's on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook. Only for this show. I'm taking one for the team, just for this show.
Well, I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
And but it's a big game. Let's go to the Minnesota Vikings against the Bills. What a win. Kirk Cousins. I'm not a big fan of Kirk Cousins. I just want to.
You like that? You like that?
And I really thought the Buffalo Bills had them. Who fumbles the ball? That reminded me of the year with Philadelphia when Herman Edwards, and took the ball back. I mean, come on. That's all you got to do is fall forward. Get the ball from the center.
And, well, that's what's crazy like about the NFL. On any given week, a team's gonna falter.
Right.
And none more than this season, in my opinion, have I seen that. Like teams that you think are just gonna be all in. Hey, Jeff's gone, which is great.
Somebody tried. No. I'm back. I'm back.
Did you get a phone call?
Yeah. Somebody. How do you meet that, Tracy? You usually do yours on the phone. How do you meet the?
Well, you got to be on Wi-Fi, and you're traveling, so you probably can't just use Wi-Fi.
Okay. All right. But anyway, the Minnesota Vikings and Buffalo Bills was a great game. I wanted the Buffalo Bills to win. I did not see the injury of Josh Allen. Did you? Did you notice it?
It probably affected him getting that snap.
I don't think so, but I don't. I mean, how many times does Kirk Cousins fall backwards after getting the ball and never fumble? I think he had the most.
When you have a receiver like Justin Jefferson, you could throw.
What a catch.
Jeff, you could throw him passes from your wheelchair, and he'd catch them. But on the other side, you had Stephon Diggs, who made some amazing catches.
Right. But
I tell you, man,
the one by Jefferson was just got to go down as the best. I don't know. That might be the best play I've ever seen. Him going up with that one hand and coming down with it and hitting the ground and still keeping it. I mean, come on.
Yeah. See, if we want to just to touch on receivers and where Dallas is, CeeDee Lamb does not compare to Justin Jefferson. He's not there yet. Can he be that? I don't know. But when you look like a guy like Diggs and then Jefferson, those guys are amazing.
I always thought that CD was supposed to be the speed guy, kind of like Watson for Green Bay, where he just outruns everybody. And I'm not seeing that type of route.
No.
I don't know if that's the reason, if that's more in them, but I always thought that he was the speed guy.
No. But the thing is, he's kind of stuck in between being a Justin Jefferson or a Dez Bryant. And I say a Dez Bryant in that a physical
Right.
receiver, not
Right.
maybe the fastest guy. Well, that was the thing,
Okay.
and I'm not at all doing any revisionist history on the loss of Amari Cooper. But Cooper wasn't really fast, but he ran great routes.
Right.
I
Yeah.
can't quite see where CD's fitting in because he had some drops yesterday,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not
Well,
quite sold on it.
so you guys got to come back and you got to win on Sunday against the Vikings. And I'll tell you what, all Packer fans, not kidding you, all Packer fans, all Detroit fans, all Chicago fans will be backing the Cowboys this week. I'll be wearing my sweatshirt and hat for this Sunday. I'm telling you right now. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great game. All that. Last night, let's get to last night now real quick. The 49ers beat the Chargers on Sunday night's game and shut out the Chargers in the second half, Tracy.
Yeah, I really
What's
like
going on?
Justin Herbert. I really like him. I
Wrong
want
coach?
them to do
Right
well, but
quarterback?
man,
Is it
I
the
don't
wrong
know.
coach?
I'm not sure what the deal is. And speaking of the 49ers, I'm really happy that Elijah Mitchell, Raging Cajun, is back playing
Raging
again.
Cajun. Raging
Yep.
Cajun.
He just needs to stay healthy.
San Diego, I think they're going to have to make some changes. It breaks my heart to say this. It really does. Because the guy's grandfather is legendary in Green Bay. But I think it's time that Joe Lombardi leaves as the offensive coordinator in San Diego. I think he has to go. I don't know about that head coach. I still don't know about him. Great defensive coordinator. I hope he's not the same as Son of Bum, because Son of Bum is a great defensive coordinator, but not so much a head coach. And Staley might be in the same thing. I don't know.
I think Sean Payton's phone was quite busy last night.
You think so?
After the 4th and 4, Jerry picked up his phone or had one of his lackeys bring him his phone. Hey, Sean, listen, this McCarthy thing ain't going to work out. So you go on and get ready. And then it's known that Sean Payton is interested in that Chargers job. So
okay.
We'll see, man.
And Sean Payton's living like in Idaho now. Did you see that?
He's getting away from the game. He's doing like McCarthy. He's watching film on every team so that he's prepared.
Every single team he's watching.
He's practicing how to throw a headset. Oh, it just came. Oh, it just came through on Twitter. Mike McCarthy has a torn labrum from throwing his headset. Hey, you heard it here first.
Poor Mike. Poor Mike. Poor Mike. All right, let's the rest of the league. Anything that was a surprise to you?
Man, well, the surprise, of course, was
other than Dallas.
No, I mean, like I said last week, I thought that was a trap game anyway. But man, to me, what I pulled out of yesterday was the fact that the Bills and the Vikings game, and the fact that we all thought coming into this week, we kind of knew who the teams were. Right. You know, they are who they say they are. But I got to be convinced that maybe the Vikings are for real.
Oh, I can't believe it. I'm starting to think the same way, though, because they got a lot of luck on their side this year. And like they always say, it's better to be lucky than good sometimes. And right now they are.
Yeah, in a game that didn't really shock me, but it's another thing I said last week. Tom Brady pulls it out in Munich, another win in a weak conference, in a weak division. Here we go. They're going to go on a run.
Yeah. You know, and I remind everybody, you know, you always say too, you just got to get into the dance. You never know what's going to happen once you get into the dance.
I love when Parcells would call it the tournament.
The tournament, yeah. But you know, it's true. You get Brady in there, the Packers, you get them in there, and Aaron Rodgers and Brady. You just never know. I mean, when the Packers won the Super Bowl in 2010, they were the 6th seed, I believe. If you look that up, they were the 6th seed going into that, the last one. And they got on a hot streak, and it carried them all the way against Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like you said, man, all you got to do is get in and then get hot. And that's one of the things I was, looking at for the Cowboys to win at the right time.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, man, looking at these games coming up, if we had pulled it out against Green Bay and Minnesota would have lost to Buffalo,
Right.
our schedule looked very favorable. So you think about it. We beat Green Bay, Minnesota loses. So here's the rest of our schedule. At Minnesota, Giants on Thanksgiving Day, Indianapolis, that's at home, Houston at home, Jacksonville away, Philly.
You'd have had it going good.
Philly, that'd be if we're still winning, then that means something. Then at Tennessee, and then at the Commanders. But now I'm looking at this, I'm thinking we might lose that Giants game, we might lose the Vikings game, we definitely might lose the Eagles game. And if you drop one of those, you're done. You're out of the playoffs. Because as of right now, I love this when people say that if the season ended today, we're the second wild card. We don't have much room for error.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm going to say this, though. If you guys miss the playoffs, Mike McCarthy's done. Sean Payton is coming.
Yep. Hell, I'll even go as far as to say if we lose before we get to the NFC Championship, McCarthy's gone. That's how I felt the whole way.
He did it to Wade Phillips. He fired him during the season, so I guess he could do that. And,
I don't think he'll fire him during the season because there's still hope. When Swade got fired, there was no hope. It was done because y'all had just blown us out the week before. So
wonder if they would lose the next 3 games. I think McCarthy's gone season.
I think that he wouldn't move. He wouldn't do that.
You don't? Okay.
Unless my interview goes well, and then I could be coaching by the Houston game.
Well, I'm sure he'd let you sleep in his house, Jerry would. If you tell him he slept in Romo's bed, Romo could be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
What's wrong with that? Let's go.
Exactly. Let's get him out there. He knows where the plays are. He knows what needs to be done. Bring Al Johnson back in as the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach, right there. There you go.
You know what I
Marco
think
Rivera will come in.
Yep. Get Dez in there as a receivers coach.
Right.
Get Emmett. Get all the boys back. Get the band back together.
I'd bring Michael Irvin in as the wide receiver coach.
I mean, he's been sniffing around the complex.
Right. So I think it's time to start thinking about that.
You know what else?
Games, though, that you can think of?
Hey, so the Arizona Cardinals pull one out with Colt McCoy.
With Colt McCoy. I'm really shocked because I'm really shocked that Time and Cliff there didn't take a little trip to Palm Springs because you were actually in Palm Springs performing. And I'm shocked that they didn't show up for a little party time with Blake.
Well, here's the thing. The reason they pulled that win out, McCarthy, once again, he can't show up at a concert and just be who he is on a game weekend. But guess who did? Steve Keim showed up.
Steve Keim showed up to the show?
He was scouting.
Look. Oh, my look.
He was scouting talent.
When his job is on the line, he goes to Palm Springs for a Blake Shelton show.
And guess what? He pulled out the W with a backup quarterback.
Wow.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Did you?
Hey, were you watching that game at all? Yeah, I talked to him before the show.
What did he have to say? Anything good?
Oh, he says I'm the best drummer in country music.
Oh, come on. Tell us about football. We want to know that. We already know that you're the best drummer in country music. We know that. Give us something we don't know.
He was definitely prepared for this game because I said, man, how's it going to go Sunday? What's it going to be? He's like, we're playing freaking Colt McCoy versus whoever the quarterback is. I don't know.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. That's pretty funny.
I don't know if you caught on the that game,
Right?
but my boss and my boss-in-law were on TV,
Oh, really?
sitting there enjoying the game.
Oh, they went to. Oh, look at that. Kime come to them, and then they went to Kime.
Yep.
Isn't
Well,
that nice?
the game was in L.A., so
Oh, it was another. Okay.
I
All right.
think that Kime flew to Palm Springs to do some scouting,
Okay.
and then went on to Los Angeles. And since Blake's there for The Voice, you know,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Where you
man,
on
I'm
Sunday?
missing you. Do what?
Oh, where were you stuck on Sunday?
So I watched the Swanee women's
Everybody-
basketball team. They played
Okay.
a very
Then you
poor
weren't stuck.
game. What's that?
Okay. I said then you weren't stuck. You were watching the dog. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, so they lost by 30 on Saturday and 27 yesterday. So they're getting better. We'll see. Yeah,
Oh.
Jeff's in a bad area right now. He's just kind of, more garbled than usual. I think we might be losing him. Oh wait, I hear him laughing now.
Are we
No,
are we back?
I think
Are we back
I
yet?
think we're back.
Or not?
I didn't hear any of what you said though.
I said I thought that the Swanee team the girls team was supposed to be better this year because isn't it Cam's last year?
It's Cam's last year, but man, it's hard for one senior to carry a team. But they're young.
I'm sorry that's happening.
It's going to be one of those things where I'm just so proud of her for getting to that point. And what I also find funny, some of these parents are already complaining about the coaching and all this. I'm like, it's the second game. And it's the second game your daughter has played as a freshman, and you're already complaining? Can we just pump the brakes on that?
It's the coach's fault. Always the coach's fault. Hey, this is her senior year, so how old is she now?
21.
How old is she? Okay. Is it echoing back to you? Is that what the problem is?
It's like breaking up.
Oh, it's breaking up. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going down into a hole right now, so it's probably going to break up more. So, no, I was just wondering, she's 21 now, so is she got any plans to get married soon?
Well, she's dating one of the wide receivers on the team, so.
Nice. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Gonna have a wedding to go to here pretty soon, maybe, huh?
Man, as long as he's rich, I'm cool. Whatever. But we don't know if he's rich or not. We haven't figured that out yet. But I think I'm meeting his mom on Friday.
Oh, there we go.
So we'll find out. Yeah. We'll find out what the deal is.
Maria's not meeting her?
Man, she can't be bothered with that stuff. She ain't got no time for that. Yeah.
Any other games you want to talk about? It was nice that Brady come back, but I was really going for Seattle. I was hoping that they were going to do well in that one. But anything else tonight? Who do we got tonight?
The Commanders and the Eagles, which should be a slaughter.
Should be a slaughter. So,
but man, you never know.
You don't know. You don't know.
The Eagles,
couple of things.
They're playing great, but man, we'll see.
Couple of things need to go your way, and all of a sudden, you're winning, and who knows what'll happen. You give somebody that momentum that thinks they can. They usually will, and that's gonna. I think, there's a lot of things this week. Now the Packers got a short week with the Titans, your other favorite team, and so they got to go. I think that's in Green Bay. Yes, it's in Lambeau. So now the Titans are coming up here, and Thursday night football in Green Bay. That's going to be wild. Wild.
Is it going to be cold?
It's going to be cold. It's going to be. I don't know how cold. Today's high right now is about 36 degrees, 39 degrees, right around in there. But we have some snow coming at one point. I don't know if it's going to be tonight or tomorrow, but there's going to be some snow coming, and then it's supposed to dip down. Now, remember, there's going to be probably one of the best things about this time of the year and watching a Packer game, national TV, there'll be a lot of orange in the stands this year on Thursday. Because you know what starts? You know what starts on Saturday morning?
Deer
Wisconsin.
season.
Deer season. So orange will be in the stands, and that's always fun to see, a lot of orange. And I'm sure the people that don't want deer killed or anything, they'll be out there spray painting or something. I don't know. But
deer's delicious.
It is delicious.
Yeah.
And
very lean.
I'm not going hunting this year. I am.
You don't need another accident.
No, I want to go. There's a lot of college football I want to get to and watch this weekend. And college basketball is starting, Tracy. This is really one of the best times of the year, other than the baseball being done. I mean, you have the NBA, you got the college game, finishing up, and then you got college basketball. You got the NFL getting down and dirty right now. Right now is probably the best time to watch the NFL because there's a lot of games that are going to set the teams up for the chance for the playoffs, and going to be a fun time.
This is almost that stretch. That's when this playoff stretch starts to get going. You really want to be playing your best football at this time of the year, which the Cowboys aren't. So there's that.
Well, we hope that they change it around for next week against the Vikings. All Packer fans do. Wish that the Cowboys could be go in there and play well and beat the heck out of the Vikings. So we're hoping.
Well, you know what?
We've
had good success beating because we beat them last year,
right,
in Minnesota with a backup quarterback. No, that was last year because Dak was out. Right. So, I don't know, man. We got to get a lot of things fixed, but
maybe the backup quarterback needs to come back. I don't know.
Man, you know what? People are going to just hang.
Right.
The narrative, like I was saying before, of Dak not being able to beat good quarterbacks. It's the same. He hasn't changed it. Yeah, right. You can destroy other teams, but you got to beat the teams that are good. And even though the Packers aren't as good as they have been in the past, they're still the Packers, and it's still Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And so
I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. I think Aaron is one of the best to play the position. Is he the best athlete in the NFL? No, he's the best quarterback to play the position. And I just truly believe that. He's had a rough year with the receivers core and his offensive line. It's they can run the ball, but then sometimes they lose that. But we all see if Aaron Rodgers has time to throw, he's going to hurt you.
Yes.
And nobody can argue that. Nobody can.
I really thought that thumb injury was going to play more into it after that. Didn't he re-injure it?
Yeah, with the hit. I thought so too.
I'm thinking, okay, it's Jordan Love time. But nah, man, he is who he is.
And he's wants to question his toughness. That one block with his right shoulder would have, I think, explained everything about him.
Yeah. Yep. That was a big thing for him because, I like Aaron. I like him. I hate that he does what he does to my team, but I think there's he's gotten a lot of flack over the last couple of years for different reasons.
And the best
but
thing
he's
about
still
Aaron,
the MVP.
You know yourself, Tracy. A lot of the stuff that he says is just to really just pick on the people that are reporting about it. He wants to be the smartest guy in the room, and that's the way he portrays himself.
Yep. That is true. He played the Green Bay media with the whole immunization
here we
thing.
Go, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
But – Did you see him and LaFleur go at it on the sideline there for a minute?
Man, I did. He did not like that
Or
third down call.
he didn't, and you got to say that's. I mean, he was telling them straight out, I don't like it, and I think that was great. So, what were you doing? So
Yeah.
you're out on the road this last weekend. So, is that going to be happening more now, or what's going on?
Nah, that was one of our last shows for the year.
Okay.
It was
All right.
a casino in Palm Springs. So as I'm looking at it on the schedule, I'm like, oh, cool, casino gig. Those are nice. Usually the
Right.
buffet's good, be good, but it's outside and in a desert, and it was like 50 degrees. So,
Oh, nice.
but hey, you got to get used to cold weather. And
Right.
we hadn't played a show in like 2.5 months. So there were
Okay.
some technical issues, you know,
Oh boy.
but it is what it is. You
Not
just
with the
got to be a
drum.
professional.
Not with
No,
the drums. Okay. All right.
no,
I just want to make sure it's not the drums. Because you
no,
can't have any technical issues with the drums.
no.
You need them.
Yeah.
So,
So that's one of the
and,
things, man. I don't think people realize for a musician, what we call just one gig after a 2 week layoff or a month or 2 months, it's
right.
called a one off. And one
Okay.
offs are really hard because we're like a team. And when you don't play together, you're discombobulated. And that's kind of how it was this past Friday.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's why I'm,
Well,
I'm looking forward to our tour next year, starting off in February, to get on a run, get six
right.
weeks of shows, get those under our belt, and feeling good about it.
Are you coming
Because
to Wisconsin at all?
they were going to, and they called me and they're like, "Hey, is Jeff going to be coming?" I was like, "Yeah," and he's got a lot of people, and so I'm like, you know what, we're not going to do Wisconsin this year. So
Uh, so you're
I
not
was
doing
just trying to
Wisconsin?
help you out, man.
Because I was expecting to get the pudding passes for Wisconsin.
Man, ever since COVID and RSV and monkeypox, they don't do the pudding passes anymore.
They don't do those no more. Oh man.
Nope,
Wow. That's
nope.
sad. You
Hey,
don't think
so
Blake would give me a couple?
no,
Wow.
no, he's
Wow.
a married man, and
Okay.
he's been banned. He's on a new diet, and he
Oh
can't
wow.
have pudding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Gwen put him on this diet, so he
Okay,
can't
got it.
he
You
can't have
can't have
pudding.
it. So
No pudding.
poor Blake. It's all shut down just like that.
Yep,
That's why I'm
that's
thinking that maybe you could give me a couple of
it.
passes.
It reflects poorly on the organization.
I got it. All right.
Yeah. Hey,
What else is going on?
can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure. About my
So
Dallas outfit?
so
Look at that. Look at that.
for some reason,
Yeah.
um, I get Facebook alerts to your posts.
Why is that?
I don't know, but I
I don't
found it.
tag you.
Huh? I
I
know,
don't
but
tag you anymore.
for some reason I get them, and so it's odd because these posts correlated with the Packers game.
Okay.
So, okay, let me ask you what you were feeling when you put this on Facebook. How bad are the Packers receivers? They get an interception. Rodgers comes on the field and hand off when all his career he went downfield after a turnover. Were you being critical at that point?
I was being critical of LaFleur in the play calling
Okay.
on that one because isn't it true though that in the NFL, you know who made a living off that? Staubach back in the 70s.
Well, yeah, you
You
get a
get a
turnover, you
turnover,
take a shot.
you take a shot immediately, and they
Yep.
don't do that. But it might be opening up now that Watson. I'm not, so I shouldn't really delete that because with Watson on the field, if he can catch, that might open up. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the next
Anything
one.
else?
Yeah, oh, I got a few. Savage tackles instead of trying to strip the ball. Packers take over on downs. Tackle Savage, you're supposed to be a safety.
There you go.
What's that?
I don't like Darnell Savage. I think he needs to leave
Mm-hmm.
and be done. We're paying him too much money. He's a safety. Safeties are supposed to hit, right? I don't know. Am I wrong on that? I never played the game, Tracy. So am I wrong on that? Or the safety supposed to hit?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So he's out there. He has He has the cowboy in his arms. That's all he had to do is bring him to the ground. And they don't get the first down. Packers take over. No, he doesn't do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Stripping the ball. There's a lot of that stripping the ball. I saw in the Cowboys too. They like to, and they almost did it with Aaron Jones. But
yeah, that was so
trying
close.
to get that ball up, and everything. But you gotta be able to tackle too, instead of just.
Here's the thing. I get that you're trying to strip the ball, but try to make the tackle first.
Yes.
And then try to strip the ball. Don't try to strip the ball and not make the tackle, like you were saying.
So there we go. That next time, I'm just going to have to get you to post for me, and so you do it right. Okay. What is the other one? Okay.
If your MVP and your biggest contract can't throw more than 10 passes, it's Jordan Love time. LaFleur, you stink.
There you go. Pretty self-explanatory. If you're not going to let him throw the ball downfield, then you might as well put Jordan Love in because he can hand off, right?
Yeah.
So the worries about Jordan Love is that he's not able to read a defense, is what talk is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, if you're just going to hand off right, hand off left, bring Jordan Love in. Don't get Rodgers killed. But I take that back a little bit because all of a sudden, the offensive line started getting better and better and better. I don't know if Dallas was getting tired or if they're just starting to gel a little bit.
Dude, I swear there were a couple plays. It looked like the defense stopped.
Okay.
And it wasn't like they were trying to contain Aaron Rodgers because he wasn't going to scramble. It just looked like there was no push, and you can't give Aaron Rodgers that extra 2 or 3 seconds or he'll pick you apart, which is exactly what he did.
Exactly what he did. And we always talked about that.
Yeah. I was really confused. I was like, are they meaning to do that? You know that play whenever, like, instead of blocking, you just fall? I think that's what it looked like. I was like, what are y'all doing?
Well, and I got to say, to defend myself a little bit on that last post on Facebook, the press conference after, LaFleur said, thanks to the guys for bailing me out because I stink. That's what he said.
Humility goes a long way versus deflecting like Big Balls McCarthy did.
I'm thinking that maybe LaFleur came off the field and went right to his phone and probably checked to see what I put. So he just went along with that he stunk.
Maybe for some reason he gets the alerts like I do. Like when you...
Maybe. I don't know. That could happen. I don't know. Anything else you want to discuss?
Yeah, I got a couple more.
Okay, go ahead.
$22 million being paid to 23 for the Packers. $22 million, and he couldn't cover me in my wheelchair.
Self-explanatory again. You know what bothers me, Tracy? Is when you supposedly have, and he is a number 1 draft pick, and he's supposed to be all world, and he puts out I don't even know what he's doing with that whole sword thing, putting it like back in his, I don't know what that, that's like Zeke doing the, let's eat,
And one of the other ones that I love.
At least be winning, Tracy, when you're doing that.
Well, Zeke has quit doing that, mostly because he's not playing, but he kind of got humility. But the one that I love was when a cornerback does this, and he didn't do anything.
Right.
Exactly. Now, if you tip the ball, do it all you want. But if the man just dropped it and you got blown out, I don't think that applies there.
But Jair Alexander, number 1 draft pick, is supposed to be your all-world. Everybody crying last year because he couldn't play. And then he comes back, supposed to be faster, supposed to be all this. Why is he playing 15 yards off the guy? I mean, I don't get it. But it wasn't only him. On the other side, Douglas was doing the same thing. So I stand by that comment. Go ahead. What's another one?
Okay, I only got a couple more.
Okay.
Defense can't stop anyone when needed. That's the problem all year. Just get a stop. I could care less they did 2 stops before. Their job is to stop the opposing offense. Savage and Amos are not playing up to their paychecks.
There you go. Again,
but they stopped them. Hey, but they stopped them when they needed to.
But what did I say? That is what's most important. Not the play yesterday. Not the play 10 minutes ago. If you stop them now. And they did it.
Yeah.
Again, I
And
think
what's
the
funny,
defensive coordinator saw my post.
what's funny is that, when people tweet or they put stuff on social media, one of two things happen. They either age really well or they don't. And in this case, none of these really aged well. But I will say,
They age well.
well, they were prophetic in a way that the adjustments were made and you got the win.
Right.
But
And
here's
I
where
helped because they're probably checking my face. Go ahead.
and here is where everything comes together. And I would venture to say that most of those posts were negative. They were coming from a mean place, a negative place. But
I don't think so. I'm not mean. I'm very positive.
But it's amazing. About 14 minutes after the game was over, you put a picture of Beth from Yellowstone and you say, Packers win. And now Beth time. What a great night.
See, how did you like that little tie in there, huh?
Listen, like I was reading them. I'm like, negative, negative, negative. Oh, we won. It's all good.
It's all good when I can watch Beth Dutton. It's all good, Tracy.
So did you watch it?
Oh my God, yes. I watched it
I
twice.
didn't. So don't tell me anything.
Okay, I'm not gonna tell you anything. But Beth is my type of girl. I mean,
I think
really
she
is.
should be the coach of the Cowboys.
Right. Is there any way that we can get her? How do we get her on our show? She's actually English speaking. Did you know that? That like she's from London or Great Britain or something like that. So
I did
she's
not
got
know that.
yeah. So when she talks in like real life, she's got that whole accent. I mean, I
She's
just
the
would like to have her come on the show. Do you know her? Do you know anybody that knows her?
no. The
Have you
closest
Have you checked comments today?
let's see. I will say the closest that I can come, because they say, the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Right. Yep. Got it.
So Blake has a friend, this guy Tom, who's a hunting buddy and has this hunting, I don't know what you call it, a lease or something.
Okay.
They don't call it a lease, but maybe it's a ranch where you can hunt or whatever. His name's Tom McMillan. And Tom is good friends with Taylor Sheridan.
Oh, the writer.
So by default, I'm maybe 4 degrees away from Beth.
Okay. What about your personal manager, not yours, but Blake's, and his son? Doesn't he live out there in Montana?
Yeah.
Marvels? Yeah.
Yeah.
You think maybe Brandon would have?
Is
Did I
it
say his name? Did I say his name right?
Brandon Blackstock?
Okay. Do you think maybe he'd have a? I mean, I can call Brandon and ask him.
I'm sure he's got something going on.
I mean, if I could get that, would make my day, wouldn't it? Just to get her on. I mean, I would talk very nice to her. As I would anyway.
Well, I mean, you're like, you always want the next thing. You're never satisfied. I get it.
I mean,
But I honestly do not see her ever coming on the show.
Steve Kine, I'd like him on the show, but you're afraid that it might say something to him.
Maybe we can get him on the off season.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
He might have, if he don't start winning consistently, he might have a off season of nothing. So,
he might be working with us. Maybe he becomes our tour manager.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. And plus, what I did tell him too is that he's becoming too big of a star because he's on Hard Knocks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch it yet? Okay. There was some good
Not
ones
yet.
in there, especially when he. Oh, you didn't watch it? Okay. All right.
No.
I won't ruin it for you, but you need to watch it. So, all right. Anything else you want to get to?
Man, I think we covered everything, and I appreciate you coming in and doing it on a remote. That's pretty cool.
Again, we gotta thank my personal driver Tom, who's driving and doing such a great job. I appreciate him, and had a good time this morning in Milwaukee. Now on our way back to beautiful Door County, where it's cloudy. It's probably going to snow here tonight, maybe in the morning. I'm not sure. Temp's going to start to drop already. It's already down to about 37 degrees. I think it was as high in Milwaukee, about 42, I think it was.
Today in Smyrna, the high is 50, and that's the warmest it'll be all week.
Oh, well, it's still 50. So be thankful that you got 50 degrees. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Anything that I should know about?
So all the family's coming over,
Okay.
and including Cameron's boyfriend.
All right.
So
All right.
we'll see. But get this, they have basketball practice on Thanksgiving. So
wow.
she's going to eat and then head back to school.
Think we could FaceTime on Thanksgiving so I can meet the boyfriend?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because the Cowboys will be playing.
Oh, yeah, the Cowboys will be playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you sticking with me on this little trip here where I just completely forgot about an appointment I had. And I always wanted to try it out on the phone with my nice AirPod Maxes from Apple. And hopefully we can get a sponsor.
Is that from the state of Wisconsin also?
No, that's from something else. But
I do have a question before I forget. Since this mic is from the state of Wisconsin, am I going to be getting like W-2'd or something from the state?
No, tell Maria, don't worry about it. But that's really a nice microphone. It sounds really good. Really good.
I hope it does.
Does it free you up a little bit?
Not really.
Okay.
It's not like I plan on doing any calisthenics or anything.
One thing you need to look into, and like I said, I'm gonna look into. Tell Maria I'm gonna try to do some wheeling and dealing, but you need to look into the Roadcaster Pro 2, and that would be really good for you to do.
That's already out of my price range, man.
Well, you're
Can
cheap,
we get a grant?
We can. Well, I'll send you some paperwork. Maybe we can get a grant.
Yeah.
And
because in a way, this is like community service.
It is. It is community service.
Because I'm helping you, and
you're working with me,
and you're putting proof out there that you're not a loser.
I'm not a loser, and it's helping my probation a lot. So,
Yeah.
So, and I mean, again, you come through for me, and I sit back here and send you a microphone. I mean, come on.
It's a win-win, I guess.
I guess it is.
I do have to say that the Raging Cajuns pulled out a big win against Georgia Southern. So, with 2 games to play, we need one more win to get bowl eligible. Here's the tough part. We play Florida State Saturday. So, hopefully, we can get that win. And Jeff froze.
Are you back?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, did you hear what I said about the Raging Cajuns?
You said that your one game.
Yeah, we need one win in order to be bowl eligible with 2 games to go.
Okay. So, what happened? So, who did you play the last 2 games?
So, Saturday, we play Florida State in Tallahassee. That'll be a tough one.
Florida State. Ooh.
Yeah. And then the last game of the season, which it's going to hinge. If we win this game, we're bowl eligible. And I hate to say this because my boy Kevin Canada and my boy Kevin Post, it's their alma mater. We're playing Texas State for us to go to a bowl game.
Is the Texas State, is that the Armadillos?
No, sir. Those are the Bobcats.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the Texas State Armadillos with Sinbad. Wasn't Sinbad on the Armadillos?
Not that I know of.
The comedian? Yeah, there was a movie or something, wasn't it?
I think I may have missed that one, Jeff.
It was a football movie. You don't remember? It was the guy from... was the quarterback, Scott Bakula.
Oh, yeah. He was on a Quantum Leap.
Yeah. that he was the quarterback on this show, and then Sinbad was a professor, but then he had a year of eligibility left, so they brought him back and played with the Armadillos, Texas State Armadillos.
Well, that's probably a fake name, but it is the Texas State Bobcats.
Okay, all right. Well,
So,
hopefully, you notice I don't bring up the Badgers because talk
Yeah.
about stinking, they stink.
yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that I saw on Saturday watching the Badgers is Al Johnson. A lot of TV time talking to his running backs.
Maybe they're trying to get him to a head coaching job.
I think Al's going to be if Jim Leonard gets the head coaching job there. I think Al stays. Now, if he doesn't, then who knows what'll happen. But I think you could see Al Johnson. Now, this is just me. I don't know anything. I'm just being the crazy predictor again. All right. I think you see Al Johnson back in Dallas as an offensive line coach.
That would be nice.
So
There
I
may
think
be a
that's what's
shakeup
gonna-
after this season, man.
So I'll send you the little promo I did so you can see it, and I think you're going to really like it what I did.
Well, so
And
I
everything.
didn't catch it on Facebook, like I said.
I don't know why. I mean, unless Facebook took it down, maybe because
Was
It
it
had-
offensive?
it might have been offensive. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if they're Dallas Cowboy fans, maybe it wasn't really offensive though. I was being really easy on you today because I know what it's like to lose a game that you're supposed to win, and the feeling that comes with that. But one thing we got to talk about what's really been good for you is you've been able to put that all behind, and your days are not ruined by a Dallas Cowboy loss or win.
You know what? It's funny. So I was able to drive home from the basketball game. I was in Rome yesterday.
Oh, Georgia. We're
Yeah.
in Georgia. Yeah.
So I was able to watch the game driving. I got to Buffalo Wild Wings at halftime. And of course,
Okay.
our boy Rick was there. And he was fully prepared for Aaron Rodgers to prison rape us. So he ended up leaving before overtime.
Oh, nice.
And he always does that. But my friend Mike, who I met through Rick, Mike and I are on the same page. We've watched the Cowboys for years. We don't get too high or too low. But Rick gets worked up. And I told Mike, I said, you know what? You know why we hang around Rick? Because he makes us feel better about ourselves.
And not to act like that.
No. Yeah. Because
That helps
at the
you.
end of the
I don't know.
one of my other favorite phrases, at the end of the day, those athletes don't care about me. So why
Right.
should I care about them?
So now if I come down and we go to Sullivan's, is Sullivan's still open?
Yeah, man, but apparently it's been rough lately just because there's like big dart tournaments and people come in there and they start smoking and stuff. So Rick's he pre-games at Sullivan's, and then when it starts to get smoky, he goes to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
So-
Well, do you think that if I come down to watch a game, can we get my old buddy Donnie back? I miss him.
I think he may be off the grid.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Well, he might be on because Tennessee's winning. I don't know what's going on.
Speaking
So-
of Tennessee, by the way, heck of game. That quarterback in Tennessee is going to be a good NFL player. I got a feeling.
Tell you what, everything's pointing to them being in the college football playoff when it's all said and done. Because if you look at
Georgia's-
Ohio State and Michigan, they're going to have to play each other, so one of them's going to lose.
One of them's going to be out, I believe.
And Tennessee has a very favorable schedule. They have South Carolina and Vanderbilt coming up. That's 2 wins.
Now Vanderbilt did win this last weekend, a good game.
They finally broke a thick 27-game SEC losing streak. But a shout out to my boy Nate Clifton. Nate,
Okay.
I have known since he was in first grade because him and Cameron were in class together. And they went to school all the way to middle school. And Natasha, his mom, man, she could bring the spirit at some basketball games, let me tell you. So Nate is a senior defensive lineman, defensive end,
Okay.
and I'm happy for him. He's getting a great education, and he's a great kid, so I'm happy for him.
Nice. Well, The other, I was going to mention the Tennessee Titan, the Tennessee, what are they called? Vols.
Yeah.
And you, the other part of them is if they get into that round robin, they go up against Georgia. They're not going to win. Georgia is just too much, too much.
Yeah, I think the best case scenario for them is to hold that 3 spot, 2 or 3. I don't think
Yeah,
they won't get to 1, but if they could be 2 or 3, you don't want to meet Georgia in the first round.
you don't, you don't. You
And
want to be in the
so I guess
championship.
I don't want to do this, but congratulations to the LSU Tigers. They won the SEC West, and they'll be playing Georgia in the SEC Championship. That's going to be a good game.
I wonder if that would you even be able to, with all your friends that love LSU, talk to them if they would beat Georgia.
Oh, my. It would be it would be hard to deal with. Almost as bad as when the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Okay, so it would almost be as bad as that if LSU. LSU has a chance. I mean, look at how many people were ripping on that head coach, LSU's, early in the year.
Man, I was one of them.
I know, I was too. I was doing his southern accent and the whole thing, but he sure did prove us all wrong, no doubt about that.
And you know what?
Um,
That's about being an adult and realizing you make mistakes.
I made mistakes. I made a mistake. I
If
did.
McCarthy had just said, I'm a dumbass and I
Right.
shouldn't have called that play, it'd be a lot cooler than blaming everybody else.
Everybody else. Well, he's always blaming everybody else. He blamed Aaron Rodgers for getting fired. Now they're hugging and saying "I love you" and all
Oh,
that
that
kind of
was
stuff.
so sweet.
It was. I mean, it's kind of like somebody brought it up. I forget. One of my friends brought it up. They said it's kind of like you and Tracy when you see each other. I said it kind of is. We hug each other, say we love you, and
The
and then
minute we
we
turn each other's back, we start talking trash.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the way. So it's the same thing. And one last thing I want to get to before we go, because we're almost at 2:30 in the afternoon central.
And I got
Um,
that interview with Jerry, so
last week we had somebody jump on here. I don't remember your friend's name, but he wants to come on the show. I think
oh
next time we do
yeah.
the show, we got to bring him on because after checking him out and doing some research on him, he holds a very important part of my heart with somebody, and he really needs to come on the show and give me some insight of how I would go about meeting this person.
Yeah, Bruce Wallace. He is the man that got me started in my career. Hired me to play with Shane Miner.
Okay.
Gave me a shot in 1999. And then we played with Shane, and then he moved on to Cindy Thompson and hired me to play with Cindy. And that's where Jeff's heart really gets pounding.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Cindy Thompson. If you don't know who Cindy Thompson is, look her up. Song what was it? What I meant to be, or
What I
what was
really
it?
meant to say.
Really meant to say. What a great song, Cindy Thompson. I think it even shows her on her album cover or one of the pictures where she's out in the chicken coop and she's picking the eggs and all that kind of stuff out on
Mm-hmm.
her little farm. And I think, boy, I should get. I do have one. I don't know if you ever knew this. I have one picture with her. Do you know that?
And you probably only have one because you probably creeped her out. So that was it.
No, she was very nice. She was very nice. It was CRS Country Radio Seminars, 2002. So it must have been right at the height of her.
Oh,
What I
yeah.
really meant to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got a picture with her, and she's actually got her arm around me, Tracy.
And then after that that's when you got to file the papers for the restraining order.
Oh, I mean, I should have put a restraining order against her because she was touching me. I wasn't touching her, and I didn't want it.
You were the victim.
I was the victim. Took advantage of me because I was sitting in a chair.
Because you're in a wheelchair and she thought she could take advantage. Wow. That's a lawsuit that never got filed. Jeez.
Well, Mr. Broussard, I hope you have a great afternoon. I hope this week is good. Let's go Dallas Cowboys against the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh,
Let's go
boy.
Packers against the Titans. The Packers just got to keep winning now. Hopefully they can do that. and the receivers hopefully get Dobbs back soon, and
You
get
guys
him
might be
going with
peaking at the right time, man. You know, it'd be funny. It'd be fitting if you guys go on a run and you take the spot that we are in as far as getting into the playoffs.
Oh, it'd be nice. Like I always told you, it'd be nice if you guys get a spot, we get a spot, and we got to play each other. And then you can take me to Dallas, or you can take me to Green Bay.
And guess what?
One.
Either way, Aaron Rodgers will bend us over and prison rape us. No matter where. In Dallas, in Green Bay, whatever.
This is a kid's show, for God's sakes.
Kids know about it.
Well, you have a good rest of your day. I am just
you also
home. I got to thank Bogey for jumping in here. He said it was the Texas Tech. I don't know if it was Texas. Maybe it was Texas.
I don't know.
No, I don't think it was Texas Tech. I'm almost positive it was Texas State Armadillos. I got to go watch that movie again and find out what it was. But if you talk to Steve Kine, tell him, way to get out there, whoop it up a little bit. It helped his team win, and I'm proud of the Arizona Cardinals this week. Not so proud of, who's falling real fast, real quick, is the people that are associated with Sean McVay.
Ooh.
There's a lot of people, I don't know if they're going to go for that coaching tree anymore.
Here's the thing. Maria used to have the biggest crush on him, and she's even done with him.
Oh, boy.
That's when you know it's over. When Maria loses faith, it's done.
Interest, it's done.
It's over.
It's done. She still likes New Kids on the Block, though. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
there you go.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. I'm going to get off of this thing, and I appreciate you and the talk. We might take off next week because of Thanksgiving, because I know you get busy, but we'll see how it goes. If the Cowboys beat the Vikings, we're back on, all right?
Either way, I'm used to just disappointment, so.
Well, if the Cowboys win, I think I want to talk about it. But we'll talk probably before then. I mean, we talk just about every day because we're such good buddies.
That's right. We need it. It's therapy.
I love you, man.
Love you too, man.
Thanks for watching, everybody that's going to check this out on the views. We appreciate it. We'd like to get over 250 views this week, just so everybody knows.
We did pretty good last week.
Tell your friends. Tell the people.
And also, find us on Twitter, OTL615, because Jeff got kicked off because Elon Musk did something or he pissed him off.
I didn't get kicked off. I just forgot the password, and then it wouldn't let me. StreamYard has to take over so we could post on there, and it wouldn't let me do it. So then I just made a new one, and I think OTL615 sounds better. To tell you the truth.
Whatever it works, as long as we don't get kicked off by Elon, and he can send us a Tesla.
Do you know what that stands for? It's the area code where you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also the area code to your phone because you're just trying to throw people off and they try to track you down.
Exactly. That's another thing. Yeah. Hey, the other thing and please, while you're sitting at home and getting ready to play down on Broadway, think about how you would approach Blake to talk to his friend Tom about Beth Dutton coming on the show.
Okay.
All right.
It's going to be a short process of me thinking, and it's going to be a no. So.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good day. Stay safe and don't get in any trouble.
No, sir.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.